items here, how much they cost here. The total is adding up here, but you owe Mr. Zima $20. In here, if you look at the cell, look at the formula here. I'm telling it, if I click on it, you'll see what I've done. I've written a formula that says, take whatever's in D4 and subtract it. D4 is this one here. I'm pointing to that cell. I'm saying, whatever's in that cell is the money that Mr. Zima lent you. And I want you to take away whatever's in cell D20, which is this one. And the answer goes there. Does this make any sense?
Yes.
Now, there's another way of doing this. You could just write a formula that says, this cell equals this one, and just type in minus 20. Now, you don't need to click on that. You can just write, this cell equals, what's this one?
6,
What's the address? D20. So I just write in here, I type equals, I click on this cell, and I type minus 20, enter. And it will subtract $20, because that's the money you owe Mr. Zima. So you may have made $6.80, but I'm sorry, you still haven't. You still owe Mr. Zima $13, $20. But make $13.20. Now here's the slight difference. So for teachers' benefit, there's a pro and a con here. If you type minus 20, in the real world there could be a scenario where the lender changes his mind or her mind and says, I said I'm going to lend you $20, but I'm so impressed by your idea, I'm going to lend you $50 because I want you to take this further. Well, now you've got to go in and go into the formula and change that number yourself. Whereas if you using this medal, I can change this number anytime I want. I can change this to any number, and this will automatically update and take into account that this number's changed. So in terms of spreadsheet practice, it's always better to have a variable than a fixed number because it's easier to make the sheet change and adapt. But the rest of you, don't worry about that. You can go in here, this equals this cell minus this cell. So if it goes wrong, what do? Undo, try again. Undo, try again. It's perfectly part of the learning. You're not going to necessarily get it right the first time. You may need to try a few different ways of fiddling around with the numbers until, oh, that makes sense. It makes sense that I would have $13 left over, roughly, because I've spent about $7. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I want you to go and do that 5 minutes. There's 3 kids in the class already. I don't know if they're the mathematicians, but they've already started thinking, well, what if I've got more than one? They're wrestling with the idea, what if I've got 5 lollipop sticks? So some people just write lollipop stick, lollipop stick, lollipop stick. And there's already some kids who are trying to factor in, well, no, I've got 5 lollipop sticks, so it's going to cost that. And
Write a formula for that.
no, well, you could. You have to ask Alison Fora about that. You can write a formula that incorporates, but you need that to be flexible though. If you write a formula, then you need to be able to allow for, no, it's not 5 lollipop sticks, it's 3. Or if they said, actually, we need 2 more lollipop sticks. You want to be able to just say the amount, and so there's already, he doesn't know what he's done yet, but he's got the right idea. He's added another column for the amount. So that's the next step I'm going to show you in a minute, which we probably won't get through today, but I'm going to basically say, you've got that far, and for some kids you might say, that will do. That will do what you need. And if you have 6 lollipops, do it the old-fashioned way, 6 times 20 and put the total in there. But a better solution, which I'll show you, which is step 4, is where I'm going to say, well, what if you've got more than one lollipop stick? And that's where some kids here are going to go, I already did that. We've already put another column in to allow for that. 1 more. 1 minute. Teachers, can you just go around and see which kids? This is being done in Google Spreadsheets for a reason, because it means that Mrs. Daniels, if she wants, can say, hey kids, you didn't get it finished? Finish it at home. We don't have to fiddle around and go, oh, it's in my shared space, I don't have Excel, I'm using a Mac, I don't have Excel. Any of you can go at home, log in and fiddle around with the spreadsheet. Does this make sense? Until you're happy, because look, there's something to be said for you taking the time you need to play with it. Not all of us learn in a 5-minute, 10-minute span. Maybe you need 15 or 20 minutes just to play with it. Fine. But here's the other thing. You're a part of a team. So there's probably 5 kids in your group. Do you all need a spreadsheet each?
No.
No, we've built one each because I want you to learn how to do it. But in your team, you're probably going to end up saying, whose spreadsheet's the best? Yours, Johnny, Tracy, let's use yours. Is that okay? So if yours isn't the best, it doesn't matter. Someone in your team will have a spreadsheet which you can use, and they can put the stuff in for everyone. And Stuart, stop kicking Alessandro. And they can then share that spreadsheet, just like you do a Google Doc, they can share it with the rest of the group. So all of the 4 or 5 kids in that group can all see what's happening with the money. Here's how much you've made. Here's how much you owe Mr. Zima. But hopefully, when you start selling on market days, you're going to be making some money. And at the end of that day, the accountant's going to add up all the cash, all the spondula, and you're going to type a number in here, which is going to start getting you hopefully back into credit. So let's just say at the end of the first day, I made $18.20. I now should find that I'm starting to make some money, get some money back. Total income, I've made $31.40, but I owe Mr. Zima $20. This is the big number you need to look at. Profit. Have you actually made any money yet? And at the end of the first day, you may go, do we need to change our price? Do we need to change how much it costs? Because the next thing I'm going to show you, which will rock your socks, is conditional formatting. So what I've got here, this cell is green. And I can make the computer change what happens depending on what's in it. Format, conditional formatting, and I've got the comments in here, teachers, for you to cheat, so that I can tell the computer what should happen here. So that these numbers will hopefully change. So, does this make any sense?
If you're below.
So, you're going to need to fiddle around with it. But basically, in here, let me show you back here. I can take a cell like this one. I can go Format, Conditional Formatting, and it says text contains. I can say greater than, less than. In here, I can put in mathematical numbers that will help me to decide what it should be. And to help you teachers, in here, I put a little screenshot so you can see what happens. So they can then say, if the number's less than 0, make it go red. If the number's greater than 0, make it go green. That's one of those cool little things that looks really complicated, but actually, it's not that complicated, but it's quite effective. So you can literally see, as you're making money, it will be green, and if you owe money, it will be red. Someone asked a really good question. They said, Mr. McHugh, what if I've got more than one? Now, I've shared this spreadsheet with all of your teachers so they can use this and show it to you in class. But basically, you may have bought Werbles. They cost $3 each, and you bought 2 of them. So what have I done? What's changed between this spreadsheet and the one that you've got? 3, 4 columns now. Before, there were 2. What did I do? Stuart.
You've added 2 columns.
I've inserted 2 columns, and it was easy. All I did was, let me show you, I just went right click, insert, like that. And I can add a column, and I can take the column away. And all the formulas, teachers, the cool thing about spreadsheets is, if you add a column, the spreadsheet knows, and it automatically allows it. It doesn't go, huh? Where are all the numbers gone? It knows, it just shifts them all across. So kids, at home, here's my advice. Play with this. And teachers, I would make time for a homework where you get as far as you can in class, then you say to the kids at home, and you can always share them with this as a cheat sheet, can you play with your spreadsheet? Can you get it to do things? Can you get things to add, multiply, divide? This does this, which affects that, which affects that. Because that's what we're looking at, aiming at. You, for the next 10 minutes, are having to work independently, which means you can't ask me any questions all day. That means that you will have to ask the kid next to you. And as I said to the other kids, if you students who get it done, you get automatically become teachers. You go around, you help kids around you to see how far you can get. Does this make sense? And see if you can get this bit working where this number, these get added up, and you get the total. I'm going to scroll this down so you can see. Can you get this happening? Where we can see how much profit you can make. And just put in some fake numbers. These should add up. Total amount you've made. Pay back Mr. Zima. How much money have you made? And then if you can do conditional formatting, this cell here, if it's less than 0, should turn red, and if it's more than 0, green.